up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford, sunny Clearwater, Florida, and we have a little bit of a Mustang comparison to do just for you. We're going to compare a 2019 Mustang GT Performance Pack 1 to a 2019 Mustang GT Performance Pack 2. Let's talk a little history. The Mustang's been around since 1964 and a half, was unveiled at the World's Fair in New York City. Really just so many people fell in love with the Mustang, and the Mustang went from being just a really fun, affordable car to really a true performer. As the 60s went into the early 70s, muscle car performance was reigning supreme. Then with the mid 70s and the oil embargo and the gas crisis and everything else, horsepower was robbed, but because of the Fox body Mustang in the late 70s into 80s and 90s, that really is what brought performance back. Well, guess what? Here we are in the 21st century, and Ford is giving you lots of options to get your performance fill. Let's start with the Performance Pack Level 1. So you can get a straight up Mustang GT. You go Performance Pack Level 1, what you're gonna get is you're gonna get that unique styling to the GT. So same gloss black grille, chrome pony. What's gonna change is the lower lip spoiler here. The lip spoiler is actually wider. It sticks out further than the standard Mustang GT. I love the actual look of any Mustang GT, but that does give a little bit more of a performance look, and it's also gonna give you real dividends in real world. It's gonna increase downforce at the front end of the car. Underneath that front fascia is a larger radiator. That's gonna help with performance because remember, that 5-liter Coyote engine, V8, producing lots of heat, that radiator is gonna cool it. Now, with the Performance Pack Level 1, you could have a manual or you could have an automatic. Let's go Performance Pack Level 2. Right off the back, the biggest difference is gonna be this lower lip splitter. It's been added to the spoiler of the Performance Pack Level 1. This extra material is gonna give you more downforce at the front end of the business. That's gonna give you faster lap times. This car is all about handling and grip. Same engine underneath the hood, 460 horsepower, Coyote V8. This one though is only available in a manual transmission. The biggest question though, this is a $6,500 option with the Magna-Ride suspension and everything else that you're gonna see in this video. This one is about a $4,000 option. So let's go ahead and check out the sides of these two Performance Pack Mustangs. All right, so we're gonna start with the Performance Pack Level 1. Like we said, that splitter is different. As we come around the corner, this is different than your standard Mustang GT. It's a 19-inch wheel, gloss black, love the look. Behind the wheel are 14-inch rotors, larger rotor than your Mustang GT, 6-piston calipers, larger calipers. That's gonna help stop this pony every single time when you're ready on a dime. It also comes with the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Great tire, has good grip, has great durability. You could daily drive this, do your track day, do your autocross, and keep on going. Underneath the fenders is a standard suspension setup. The springs have been stiffened both at the front and the rear. Let's continue down the side. All Mustang GTs look the same from the side. So you got your 5.0 badge, that design that came out in 2015, nice fastback roof design. I just love the way the fenders are flared out. Little bit meatier tire on the rear of both the Performance Pack Level 1 and 2. And as we wrap it out back, the biggest way to tell that this is a Performance Pack 1 is this wing. This wing is only for the Performance Pack Level 1. I love the design. At first I didn't like it, but now that I see it in person, it's got character. I love the extra C design, shape on design on both sides. The V pillar in the center, much nicer than what's on a Camaro SS, I promise you that. And then this is your Mustang GT, same rear, quad exhaust. This one is optioned with the active exhaust, so you can make it louder or quieter. 373 gears. Performance Pack 1 and 2 have 373 gears out back. Seen this one? Let's go check out that Performance Pack 2. All right, guys, time for the Performance Pack Level 2. So coming around, watching out for that wider lower lip splitter. Check out these wheels. Love the style. This is a 19 by 10.5-inch wheel. Love the design of the wheel. And these, if you notice, different Michelin tires. The one over there on the Performance Pack Level 1 was the 4S. These are the Pilot Sport Cup 2s. These are super sticky gumball tires that are meant for track day. Just to put in perspective, you're probably going to get about 10,000 or so miles out of these tires compared to getting many more miles out of the durability of the 4Ss. But at the end of the day, this is going to cut your lap times. Now, lurking behind these wheels, you think you would get a little bit larger rotor, you don't. It's the same rotor, same 6-piston caliper. Where the difference is underneath this fender. If I could rip this fender off, what you would see is this car comes with the package, the Magna-Ride suspension. Now you can option a GT Performance Pack Level 1 with that as well, but that's gonna bring up the price. And remember, we started with $4,000 for the package. You add another $1,300, $1,400, now you're getting closer to this setup. So this one has the full Magna-Ride suspension, and it's been set up for track duty. So it's not actually the exact setup, even if you option the Performance Pack Level 1. Now on the Level 1, you do get beefier springs and whatnot, which is gonna help you perform. But at the end of the day, all four corners with that Magna-Ride suspension, with those super sticky tires, you're gonna cut, for example, at Watkins Glen in New York, which is a road course there, 5 seconds. Depending on the driver, 5 seconds faster in the Performance Pack Level 2. Let me come ahead and show you some more surprises. As we work our way back, I'm gonna have Tom swing around and show you just how sticky those tires are. Not a lot of tread. They are meant for track use. You can drive them on the street, but that's really, a lot of people say, how do you get more performance? Yeah, we could add more horsepower, but tires do so much for your overall, not only getting the power to the ground, but also braking. Finishing out the rear, 19 by 11.5-inch wheels back here. These things are unbelievable. So you have 305s up front and just amazing all the way around 305s. 305, remember, 305 is the width. If you remember on the Performance Pack Level 1, does anybody remember what we were dealing with? 255s, 275s. So we have more rubber, more contact patch to keep you stuck to the track. And I'm telling you, just the way this thing sits, it's so menacing. As we get to the rear, they decided to go with a lower trunk lid spoiler for aerodynamic purposes. And then to wrap it out back, everything else is gonna be the same besides this. Now, underneath there, in that pumpkin, that differential, 373 gears in both. Both of these are equipped, like I said, with that Coyote engine and a slick shifting 6-speed manual transmission. Speaking of the engine, let's just go ahead and pop the hood and see what we're looking at. All right, guys, we got the hoods popped on these two Mustangs here. We're gonna focus just on the Performance Pack Level 2, and I'll explain why. When it comes to that Coyote engine, same exact horsepower, no matter if you're Performance Pack Level 1 or 2, so you're looking at 460 horsepower. I am gonna have to zonk the engine, and the reason why is I think the Performance Pack Level 2 should have the same exact setup as the Bullet. And what I mean by that is, first of all, get rid of this large engine cover. I really despise this large engine cover. The reason why is that intake plenum looks oh so good underneath it. Now, the difference between this and a Bullet is that the Bullet has the GT350 intake plenum and whole air box and everything. What that does is it increases your horsepower to 480 horsepower. You do get on both the Performance Pack Level 1 and 2 the strut tower brace that's going to stiffen up the front end of the business to help with handling. Lurking underneath, like I said, the shock tower mounts are going to be the Magna-Ride suspension, specially tuned for this particular car. Even the ABS has been worked over for track duty compared to the Performance Pack Level 1. Also, with the Level 2, you get more coolers. So at the end of the day, when it comes to trying to get as close to a GT350 as possible, this is going to be your best route handling-wise. The only other way to go is to get a GT350, but now you're talking about an MSRP of around a little over $60,000. But why don't we go ahead and fire up these ponies and see what they sound like. Alright guys, we're sitting in the Performance Pack Level 2 Mustang GT. Before I go any further, it's that big question. how much money we talking about? So for the Performance Pack Level 1 sitting over there, you're looking at $43,300 MSRP. This one, the way it sits, is $44,900. So you can see what we're talking with when it comes to the price at the end of the day. Obviously, you go this route, you're gonna need a few extra dollars for some sets of tires because those Cup 2s, super sticky, but they don't last super long. Let's go ahead and focus on the door panels. Traditional Mustang setup. I like the use of some silver shiny bits. Also, the nice faux leather with the white contrast stitching. This one does not have the leather interior, so you're going to get cloth on the back of the door panel, and then you also get these cloth seats. But the dash has very nice soft material. The dash is going to be the same exact whether you're in the Performance Pack 1 or 2, and that's a zonk. I think for the Performance Pack Level 2, you should get some type of designation plate, chassis number, like the Bullet. You do get oil pressure and vacuum gauges, which is very nice. And on this Performance Pack Level 2, as you can see, you have the larger screen to work your climate controls. There's no navigation. That would have to be an option. Your standard seats, they're not ventilated or heated. And then you have the nice silver toggle switches. USB, 12 volt. And then that's what's controlling the business. You rode through your own gears, 6-speed manual transmission. I wish this came with the Tremec. I would pay an additional $2,500 to get a Tremec in this thing. It really is the sweetest gearbox. But this one will definitely get the business done for you. You do have harder plastics on the center console, but it does look very classic Mustang, and I like that. Nice soft armrest. You open it up, you got a pretty good size storage area, USB, another 12 volt, and then the seats. Nice durable cloth. I do like the way they put this racing stripe design with the Mustang logo. Gives it a nice little extra feel, extra touch to the overall package. But I think we're at that point. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take these two ponies for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2019 Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1, pulling out of Walker Ford. Really just love the way you feel inside a Mustang GT. I don't care which options you go with, especially second gear, you roll on that throttle. Really just a great experience. The power that you're getting from that quad cam V8, that Coyote V8. And one thing I want to point out that we didn't talk about in the interior, just because we've talked about it so much, is behind the business end, I like the simplicity in the gauges. Now, Ford does have the option of that 12-inch, LED display, which is downright beautiful, but there's nothing like your classic analog gauge setup. In the center, you do have the digital display, and what's really wonderful about it is that you can go through a plethora of different gauges that are displayed there in color for you. I actually have the axle oil temp. One of the reasons why I have that is because one zonk that I am gonna give the overall performance pack with what you get is you get larger radiator, you get a transmission cooler, you get an engine oil cooler. You do not get any kind of diff cooler, and that is something that I think is a problem, especially on that performance pack too, because if you're turning your hot laps, that's really gonna heat up that rear diff oil, and you're gonna wanna have to pull in and let it cool down, which to me kind of defeats the purpose. But it is what it is at the end of the day. You're just gonna have to be mindful of that. Still, there's no doubting the performance advantage from a PP1, which is what we're in now, from a standard Mustang GT. The stiffer springs, the larger wheels and tires, the larger brakes and calipers, those all equate to more performance on the track. Now, obviously, you need to know what you're doing to get that power. It's not like just having extra horsepower. Anybody can just step on the loud pedal and you go faster. With the Performance Pack Level 1 and 2, you gotta have the skill to muscle the car around the track, and if you do have that skill, you will be rewarded with quicker lap times than somebody in a standard Mustang GT. All right, guys, we're rolling out of a parking lot. We made a quick stop. Tom needed some protein, so we got that in the trunk. That's the great thing about the Mustang GT, is no matter which one you go with, they have a really great trunk. But here's my favorite part. Just really wonderful how it shifts. The throws are actually fairly short. Is it as good as a Tremec? I'd be lying to you. If I said it was, I'd be a liar. I wish you could get a Tremec. I wish it was just an option. I'm not even asking, hey, give it to me for free. I'm willing to pay a little bit more to have that sweet shifting transmission. But even this 6-speed, it is very good with the throws. The throws are very short, and when you get it into the gate, you know exactly where you're at. It's just, for some reason, the Tremec, it's wired right to your frontal lobe, and it knows exactly what the hell's going on. I don't know how they pulled that off. Obviously, there's some science behind that, but the Tremec is just on another level. But overall, this GT, if you're wondering with the Performance Pack Level 1, hey, am I gonna get beat up by the suspension? Is the suspension with those stiffer springs that much worse? No. It actually is quite comfortable, even with the stiffer springs, and really rides very nicely on public roads. So that is the one thing that a lot of times on certain vehicles, if you go a performance route, you're gonna get beat up every day from the suspension, but with this, you don't. You got that auto rev match downshifting feature. Really, really nice. It's super quick, very responsive. I like how the front end is feeling right now, going through that left-hand bend, on throttle, rolling on. Very nice feedback coming from the front and the rear of the car. Really enjoying it. And if you have not been in a Mustang lately, the quality in the interior is much higher than at any other time throughout all the years of the Mustang, ever since its inception in 1964 and a half. But let's go ahead and check out the brakes. Third, second, nice feel. Good feedback, coming out wide, swinging out, hit your apex on throttle. Wonderful feel. All right, guys, driving along in the Performance Pack Level 1. It's very, very surprising just how comfortable this car is, even with the stiffer springs. On throttle, on the brakes, third gear, second, very nice. I love the feedback, I'm telling you. Even though it's not the level 2, the feedback is really, really great. Very nice. You pull away, great feel from the throttle, and you can adjust that. There's different modes that you could put: the steering sensitivity, throttle sensitivity, and you could even shut off that auto rev match downshift feature if you'd want to do your own heel toe downshifting. But we're going to go ahead, get back to Walker Ford, swap keys, and get into the Performance Pack 2. So I'll see you in a second. All right, guys, we're in the Performance Pack Level 2 Mustang GT. We're about to roll out of Walker Ford. Like I said, same gauge setup as the one we just drove. You can option in the 12-inch LED, but to be honest with you, there's nothing classic like that kind of gauge setup. But we're rolling out. Remember, the biggest difference is gonna be that wheel and tire combo for sure, because the stick you're gonna get from those tires is going to be unbelievable. But still, that wonderful sound from that Coyote V8, rolling on the throttle. Even in third gear, she pulls. And the higher you go up in the rev range, the more she pulls. And that's gonna be because of that quad cam engine. This thing redlines to 7,500 RPM. That's pretty stout. Now, when we look at the GT350, yes, that is 8,250 RPM, but you're, like I said, at the end of the day, you're looking at another almost 20 grand or so on the top of the price of this particular one. We got the Magna Ride suspension. What that does every nanosecond, it's calculating the road surface and what's happening with what you're trying to get the car to do, and that is going to help you get those faster lap times, because the Performance Pack 2 Magna Ride is set up for the track. All right, guys, as we're driving down, the wonderful thing is, even with those massive steamroller tires up front, the steering wheel is not being pulled out of your hands when you see little, you know, grooves in the road. It really tracks straight and true. What is definitely true is the steering is much quicker in this Performance Pack Level 2 because of those steamroller tires up front. Remember, 305s up front. All right, guys, let me go ahead. We're down to third. Get on throttle a little bit. Brakes. Second. Very, very nice. The stick rolling out. All right, guys, rolling down here. We're gonna try to see if we can get some space to show off the handling performance of the Performance Pack Level 2 here. Of course, we have people driving really bizarre. Third, on the brakes. Second, tip it in. Great grip coming out of the turn, reaching your apex. Third gear, rolling out. She just wants to be driven. This car wants to be driven and driven hard, and that is what it's all about in the Performance Pack Level 2, is being able to get that utmost performance out of the Mustang GT. And like I said, if you have the skill and the ability and the guts, this thing is gonna stick like crazy glue in the turns. I'm telling you, just by going around these little roundabouts here, really impressive what Ford has done with the Mustang GT chassis here. The feedback is phenomenal. Phenomenal in this car. Gearbox, just like the Performance Pack 1, same deal. Feels good. Is it as good as a Tremec? No, but it feels really great. And even over the bumps and ripples, the Magna Ride, it cancels it out. It really does a great job, even on street duty, for this car. On throttle, brakes, second gear. Feel the grip, you get the traction down, and that's what is so important about this car, getting those faster times, is being able to stick to the track. But we're gonna go ahead, before we get any more attention on us, and get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up, so we'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another wonderful day here at Walker Ford. I definitely gotta give a huge thank you to Frank and Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Mark, Austin, Greg, Denise. Everybody here is so accommodating. It comes down to you, which way you want to go. Do you want to go level 1? Do you want to go level 2? But the greatest thing is you have choices, and Ford likes it that way. But at the end of the day, when it comes to these cars, if you like to see these types of things on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. Check out all my different forms of social media. If you want to get yourself some merch, click the link in the description. Takes you right to Spreadshirt. We appreciate your support. Big Guns McGee, got to give him a huge shout out. Show him some love in the comment section. And check him out at Mosh Photos on Instagram. Beautiful pictures he's taken. I think he might start working his way away from cars and taking pictures of bees and stuff. So we'll see how that works out for him. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.